Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at 10 Game Boy Advance games still worth playing today. For this list, we're listing off our favorite GBA games that are worth your time even years later. Here's hoping we see these classics come to the newly added library for Switch Online. Do note we're not counting ports like the Super Mario Advance series, as those are basically the same as their NES and SNES counterparts. What's your favorite GBA game? Did it make the list? Let us know down in the comments! Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Mario vs. Donkey Kong. We promise this list won't be loaded with Mario games, but Mario vs. Donkey Kong is one worth mentioning. Donkey Kong has become obsessed with the adorable mini Mario toys, so much so that he's stolen all the toys and taken over the factory. Mario will have to navigate the several floors to restore the factory while rescuing every single toy. With nearly 100 levels to challenge your wit and platforming skills, Mario vs. Donkey Kong was the perfect title for fans of puzzle platformers, and it kept us busy for quite a bit of time. Advance Wars. Funny thing about Advance Wars is that we here in the West weren't supposed to get this game at all. Nintendo thought Western players wouldn't have the patience to learn a turn-based strategy game like this. Indeed, Advance Wars is a bit of a different beast compared to most strategy games, but we'd argue it's more simple than Nintendo gave it credit for. There's plenty of depth here between units, their abilities, and how terrain can affect them, not to mention the challenging AI. It's enough to where we'd say if you're looking to find a way into strategy games, Advance Wars is the perfect starting point. Just an hour of playing this will show why it was awarded so much praise during its review process. Golden Sun. While the GBA was responsible for bringing in new audiences to franchises like Final Fantasy and Fire Emblem, its biggest JRPG hit was the first Golden Sun. We could spend quite a bit of time talking about the story, the characters, world, music, etc., but the most unique aspect of Golden Sun was its combat. By battling and capturing different kinds of Jinn, the elemental monsters of the world, you can alter your party's character classes, thus affecting the way you approach future combat encounters. This alone is what made Golden Sun such an incredible GBA title, and to see it's coming to Switch Online later, it filled us with joy. Every fan of RPGs, casual or hardcore, needs to check this out. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. We will always love and cherish Nightmare in Dreamland, the remake of Kirby's Adventure, but Amazing Mirror is the most unique here. Whereas Nightmare in Dreamland only offered up multiplayer in the form of side games, Amazing Mirror allowed the entire game to be played with co-op thanks to Kirby's use of a cell phone. Along with the more non-linear format, Amazing Mirror sets a new standard in Kirby games as well as platformers, and few have ever managed to reach the same level of quality since. Sonic Advance series. The 3D Sonic fans will always be contentious within the gaming community when questioning quality, but when talking about Sonic Advance, well, we're all pretty much in agreement here, right? These games were thrilling to play from start to finish with their unique level design and back-to-basics gameplay. It was simple, 2D Sonic fun, but with more replay value tacked on thanks to multiple playable characters. Whether you loved Sonic Advance 1, 2, 3, or even all of them, this was a handheld series every Sonic fan can get behind. Wario Land 4. Sure, we could have chosen the first WarioWare game. It is still great after all these years with its micro minigames and such. However, Wario Land 4 seems to always live shrouded in garlic clouds. Or WarioWare's wafts. One of the two, we can't tell. On the surface, it looks like just another platformer, and while that is partially true with previous Wario Land entries, 4 is a bit more demanding by including a health system and also layering in some speedrunning tactics. Once you've found the switch in the level, you'll need to hurry back to the entrance before the time runs out and make sure you grab as much treasure as you can. And beware, some parts of the level do alter their previous paths. It all creates an intense and addictive race to the exit, making Wario Land 4 one of the GBA's most thrilling games ever. The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. When talking about Zelda, the Minish Cap seems to be left out of the conversation almost all the time. Yes, it is a strange one considering it was developed by Capcom and Flagship. Flagship, by the way, being that one studio that made Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. But Minish Cap deserves recognition for its imaginative use of shrinking Link, forcing the player to navigate the world differently than other Zelda games. Of course, there is also a light-hearted story with hilarious writing that makes this a memorable experience, and a nice break from the sometimes overly serious Zelda games we'd gotten used to on consoles. Pokemon Emerald. Ruby and Sapphire were already fantastic Pokemon games for GBA owners, but as with every pair of new Pokemon games, there must be a third to really evolve things. Enter Pokemon Emerald, the third wheel that truly carried this generation. There were a few reasons why Emerald was considered the better of the three. For starters, the way the story weaved Team Aqua and Team Magma into one plot was interesting, especially in how it finally wrangles in Rayquaza as a key part of the game's story and Pokemon's lore. And then there's the endgame content, the Battle Frontier, which saw the return of the Battle Tower as well as brand new areas for trainers to fight and catch more Pokemon. We'll never understand what critics expected out of this game to give it a 76 on Metacritic. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Look, we know we already recommended Golden Sun, but the GBA saw a ton of brilliant RPGs. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga was absolutely top-notch in every way. While it checked off the same beats and charm as Paper Mario and Super Mario RPG, the first Mario and Luigi showed the brothers had another spin to show off. Rather than loading you up on different party members, all you have are the boys and their various brothers' attacks, which reward you with bonus damage as you get better at memorizing button prompts and timing. If you own a Switch and have been needing an excellent RPG that lasts about 10 hours or so, Superstar Saga is brilliant. Utterly brilliant. In our last one, Mother 3. Oh yeah, Mother 3 would be an excellent title to play. If Nintendo ever made the decision to release it outside of Japan, So, no, this is not our final entry, but there is another M title we promise we haven't forgotten. Metroid Fusion. Metroid Fusion is absolutely a game that everybody, yes you as well, you need to play it. Yes, it does play quite a bit like Super Metroid, save for the addition of grabbing ledges and better sense of location with the inclusion of navigation rooms. But one of the coolest aspects of Fusion is the story and setting. This might sound ridiculous given the size of the GBA, but the boss fights here, specifically the encounters against the SAX Parasite, they're terrifying. About as terrifying the same way as the Emmys were in Dread, or Mr. X in Resident Evil 2. If you want to see what made people so excited over Metroid Dread, please play Fusion.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, there's more where that came from.